I want to tell you about Oliver Twist. Used to be called Wolfie, by the way. So Wolfie, we don't really know too much about what happened to him, but we know that he was found by a Good Samaritan in a gutter in Boston. And he had been hurt, he had been bitten, and he was a little, tiny little dog, weighed less than a pound. And he had some wounds to his head, and it was, what's going to happen to this poor little dog? And this Good Samaritan knew enough to come to the MSPCA-Angell.
He was in really rough shape. It was really hard to see him like that, especially as such a little guy. I went over to the hospital ready to take a picture of him, and I was really struck that he couldn't even lift his head for the picture. So I had to go over and kind of situate him and lift him up. He was just so weak and so injured. We weren't sure at that time what had happened to him, but we knew that he was not neurologically appropriate.
Oliver had quite a bit of lacerations and swelling around his head. One of his eyes was completely swollen shut. He was quite drowsy and confused, leading to problems localized more likely to the forebrain, but possibly to the brain stems.
So a lot of those first days were kind of sussing out just how stable he was and how severe his injuries were.
Every day he looked better and better, and so with the help from private donations to Angell, we were able to thankfully help support him and get him better.
Because of his trauma, he does turn and twirl to the right when he walks, so he cannot do stairs ever.
He has a compulsive nature to circle. Because of the asymmetric lesion in his brain, he's basically turning to the side of the world that exists more to him.
What a good boy.
And the more excited he gets, the more you'll see him circling to that one side.
He also has trouble walking on a leash because every time he twirls, he gets wrapped up in the leash.
He's not normal, but when we think about quality of life, he looks like a dog that's got the potential to enjoy a great quality of life.
There are a lot of people that are interested in adopting him, but we just need to make sure that it's going to be a love match.
I found Oliver on Pet Finder, and I fell in love with his little face.
Here he is.
My niece had decided to come with me for an adventure to drive into Boston. His foster mom was actually working there that day.
So cute. So much happening, huh?
I went through so many different names for him. I was like, no, that's not right, and that one's not right, and all of a sudden it was just, it's Oliver Twist, and it was just perfect. Dr. Daniels told me that when Oliver was first brought in, if it was just a few hours later, he doesn't think that Oliver would have made it, and how much of a fighter Oliver is. I've had Oliver just over a month now. He loves playing with Mavis. He loves chasing her around the yard. He does a pretty good job keeping in a straight line, but he ends up making a giant loop at some point. His little twirl that I've completely fallen in love with is permanent, and I'm more than okay with that. All dogs deserve love. I think adopting them is way better than shopping for them.
Thank you.
We found the most incredible home for Wolfie, who now is known as Oliver Twist. And Oliver Twist, we know and have confidence, will have the greatest of futures ahead of him. But that's the kind of thing that happens when you interact with the MSPCA-Angell. It's a place that's just filled with hundreds and hundreds of people and volunteers who care so much, who will give every ounce of their effort and time to make an animal better and to get that animal a second chance. So this is one lucky dog.